Hi everyone, so happy to see you again. Hi Maria, how are you today?
Wonderful, Armelle. And hi, everyone. Really happy to be back again for another episode.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And today, Maria, I thought that we could talk about the grand order of things, or at least that's the way I call it.
Mm.
It's the perfection of all that is, how the universe is putting everything together in a magical way that we have no idea, and that we constantly judge, thinking it should be different. Like the one who is creating this whole thing must have it wrong. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. This is a perfect topic because I think a lot of us could do with understanding how to trust the unfolding of life.
Yeah, exactly. When you see
Mm.
more of how the pieces come together, the what we call the positive, what we call the negative, what we say should happen, and what we say shouldn't have happened or shouldn't happen, when we see that all of it is just a grand orchestration of life or God or the universe, however we want to call it, the principle through which this whole creation comes into play, then we can just maybe settle more into, or not settle, but we can just open up more to have faith that we are guided. This whole play of life is somewhere guided and nothing is ever out of place. How does it sound?
Amazing and beautiful and exciting.
Okay, cool. Okay, let's go then. And don't hesitate to ask me question or to come into it and that we can have also a discussion.
Absolutely. Thank you, Armelle.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk actually about the grand order of things. First, because I love it and it really changed my life so much when I started to see life and this unfoldment this way. And I think that one thing that is so important if you want to truly be really, really, really happy in life is to understand the principle of how this whole play of life works. And also because it allows you to have faith in something that is completely invisible that nobody most of the time speak to us about, and to kind of put more the pieces together and maybe get a better or broader understanding of even your life. So it might even create in you the possibility that you start to see your past in a completely new light, or you start to see your present or what you're facing right now, or even what's unfolding in the world as another way, completely different way, which will certainly give you more peace of mind and certainly the opportunity also to want to maybe create something different by understanding better about how everything is created. So what I want to go into is that I was in the plane 3 days ago. I flew back to Belgium and I watched a movie called Begin Again, which is a beautiful movie about music and about relationships, really super beautiful, and creativity and how it comes about. So it's really being in the zone also. It's really beautiful to watch this movie. And this movie to me is the perfect example to show how there's never anything that is out of place in life, ever. There's nothing that is put there by accident. So often we have events in life, like maybe mine. I had a son who died. I was abused when I was a little girl. I had my parents. It wasn't always super secure when I grew up. There was a lot of love, but there was also sometimes insecurity and difficulties with money. So I didn't grow up in a place where everything was just peaceful and magical and happy. That wasn't my childhood. And it had its place because if I am who I am today, and if I can understand suffering and walk people through suffering in a way that I do, it's actually because I had this life. It's actually grace. The grace, like, because not because it's in a negative way, but this life was given to me in order for me to become who I am today. And I am doing who I am today because I am to become who I am to become in a few years. And so it's always the case. Nothing that has happened in our life is an accident, and nothing that has happened was there to really, um, you know, like put us down in a way that we will never get up. But that's what we think sometimes. Sometimes we think something negative is happening and we call it shouldn't happen. And we but might even think that God punished us or life punished us, or what did I do wrong that it happened to me? But what if it didn't happen to you? What if it happened for you, for the one you are to become, and for the life you are to create? Maybe I can even relate to, the night before I left LA. We went to the restaurant with Maria and her husband and little girl, and I remember Maria saying to that. If you became a health coach, it's actually because your mom had a cancer, and that because you had to go through like a very tough time actually watching her, just becoming sick and then dying, that it really put health and eating healthy and looking at all the ways that you could be healthy, because you saw actually what it is to be unhealthy and what it can cause in the life of someone. And so, and you say that, well, if I became a health coach, it's actually because my mother died, and that it passionated me to find other ways. Do you want to talk a little about that?
I'd love to. It did so much for me. As you say, Armelle, that life happens for us. What happened is watching my mum go through the most, I think only loved ones with cancer, you can really understand what it feels like to watch them die, and it's horrendous. It's traumatizing. You can't do anything about it, and it leaves a big enough hurt inside your heart that you go to yourself, never, ever, ever want to be in that position, or B, I never want anyone that I love again to be in that position. And that beautiful situation that happened for me has allowed me to open up what I believe could be what I'm meant to share. And that's the importance of health, the importance of prioritizing our health, both our physical health, our emotional health, our spiritual health. All of this is health. I don't blame just what my mum ate, why she got such aggressive cancer. She was also very stressed, very unhappy, very sad. So my mission now is to support people into health. And I do it for me. I do it for my husband. I do it for my daughter. And I know for a fact the way that I live will be influencing my dad, indirectly, my brothers, who I adore, my grandmother. The thing is we can't control people's health. But by living at a standard that inspires people, they might make this change that can make a difference. So like you're about to share, Armelle, I believe it was a gift in the end.
Yeah, exactly. And we actually judge, thank you, Maria, it's really beautiful. And we actually judge things that happen because we live in a dual world. And we think that there are things that should happen and things that shouldn't happen. And because we believe that we are this individual in control of everything, which is completely false, we are absolutely never in control of anything. And when we try to be, we lose our health and maybe sometimes even our life trying to be. But when we realize that we are living in a world, in a universe that is where there is duality, so then it's normal that there are things that are beautiful, there will be things that are ugly. There is life and there is death. There is up and there is down. There is light and there is darkness. There is positive and there is negative. And most of the time, we classify everything in our life because of our mind by positive or negative, should happen, shouldn't have happened. And when we start to look at our life in this way, and that we think that there are things that shouldn't have happened or that we could have prevented happening when it's not the case, we are creating our own hell. We are creating suffering for ourselves, which is not necessary. We can look at a situation that happened and maybe learn from it and learn, oh, could I have done things different? And if it's done that way, in a way to learn and then grow, then it is healthy. Because then it's like, okay, how could I, the way you say, how could I learn from this situation and grow and change something so that I become another person, I become more who I feel that I am to be, and I become maybe more human, more supportive of others, more in connection with others. And I feel that I am on the path that life put me into because that event happened. Or we can look at that event and say, it shouldn't have happened. And this is not the way it's supposed to be. And I should have prevented that and done something different, and feel completely depleted for the rest of our life and guilty and regret and be full of suffering and hate ourselves. And that is creating our own hell because it is not necessary to do that. We don't have to do that. Actually, everything that happened is for the opposite. It's for us to grow. So sometimes life punch us in the face or put us down just because we have to be humbled. We have to learn that there is something bigger than us. We have to learn that there is a bigger plan, that we are not the center of the universe, that we are a small piece in a big universe, and we are also this big universe. And when we work in conjunction together, the universe that I am, the small piece in this universe, and that I realize that when I don't believe I am only this small piece, or I don't believe I am only consciousness, the universe, or life, but that I realize that I am, and this is what awakening is, I am everything. And I am this individual living, I am the living expression of God in this form. And that everything that was put on my way, on my path, on my life was there for a reason. Then I can start to look at every event that has unfolded and unfold each event and look at it in the light of love, growth, contribution, and change. And then start to learn that, okay, so if all that happened, I have something to learn from it. What can I learn from it? And it doesn't take away necessarily the pain you have because that event happened. And the pain is part also of you learning something. It's part of you learning to let life flow. When there is emotion, it's completely normal. Let it be. Just live it. Just realize that all of the emotions are energy in motion, nothing else. Energy moving through you. Only that. And you can just let it unfold, let it happen without trying to hold it and to try to push it away or hide it or do as if it was not there, because that is creating unhealth in you. That is creating actually stress in you. But if you allow whatever there is, sadness, fear, rage, whatever that is there, you just allow it to move through, allow it to move. And all you have to do is breathe into it. There's nothing wrong with emotion. And I find it very sad that they are classified between positive emotion and negative emotion because they are all the same emotions, energy moving. And if you can allow the energy of rage moving, or even then there will be no violence. Violence is because we don't allow rage, we don't allow anger. And because it is repressed and compressed, then it becomes violence because we try. Imagine if you have a pot where there is pressure in it, and you cook and you put it, and the pressure is there, and you don't open it at some point when it's 100 degree and that it's whistling, and that it's like saying this is ready, and you don't open it, poof, the pot's going to explode. That's the same for our system. If we don't allow emotion to flow, to be what they are, to follow the cycle they are meant to follow through the event that you are meant to be living, then what happens is that it kind of clogs and it prevents the energy from flowing. So then what happens is that you're going to live event in cycles over and over again, the same events, because that energy that has not finished its course is trying to find its end, so that it can be completely released. And so it's really important to just understand that this grand order of things is not a woo-woo thing at all. What we are going through today, to me, is part of a grand change, a big change that the whole world, the whole humanity is to be going through. And we have the chance to do something amazing or to miss it and go back to another cycle again, and with more suffering, I promise you. And not because I know something, just because I really feel that if we are not taking this opportunity, we are to become more aware and to make the choices that are important today with awareness and with consciousness as an individual that is living this life as an expression of God and as an expression of all that is one with everything and with everyone. So taking in consideration nature, what we eat, the others, and instead of creating war and destroying the planet and all of it, I think it's just going to be more terrible than what it's been already, because then we're going through another cycle so that we be given another chance to finally take take the opportunity, take the road that is given us as humanity to evolve to a more conscious humanity, to a more loving humanity, because our true nature is love. Our true nature is peace, is joy. And so when we are living that, and when we realize that we are one with everything, we don't want to destroy the planet. We don't want to cut all the trees and destroy the places where the animals grow or where the first tribes and the Indians still live. And that is so necessary also for, for the earth to be how it is. We don't want to do that. We take care of everything and everyone. If I know that you are my brother and you are my sister, Maria, I want to take care of you. I want to make sure everything is good for you. I don't want to push you down. I don't want to take revenge. I'm not saying if you do this, then I do that. I'm not trying to take away everything from you. I'm not trying to kill you either. Because in order to be able to kill another human being, we have to dehumanize them. We have to make them less than what they are so that we have a reason for our consciousness. We can lie to ourselves and make it okay only if it's not a human. And so it's really important to understand this grand order of things. Like everything that has happened until now in this universe had its reason. Nothing has gone wrong. And so in our life, we can start looking at it and all the pieces that have happened. How do they fit together? Where are they leading you? What can you learn now that you didn't learn yet in your life that could change everything?
And I'd love to add something to this, Armelle.
Yeah, sure.
Even what we think the learning is, it turns out this is just a hallucination of mine from experience. It turns out to be something even greater than that, because you mentioned our minds are smaller than the source of life. So what we think it is and what it really is are going to be two different things. But what really it was is going to be 1,000 times better. So just for us to even keep in mind that you mentioned so many wonderful things that I just want to recap on. So one is to embrace with gratitude and grace, as you mentioned, life situations that have happened for us, because I have this belief, although there's such thing as balance in life, if we choose to look at it this way, I think the good always comes up on top of the bad. That pain we felt, I believe we're going to experience equal amount of joy, but I also think there's potential to experience even greater joy. Not only did I gain health from the loss of my mum, but I gained the importance of living life. I gained the importance of loving unconditionally and openly and never, ever set any barriers for love, because I know how important love is. And when that goes, it is the most painful loss. So I think more than health, I got so much more as well from what happened for me. And I also want to mention, as much, like, I love so much how you were talking about our emotions. I don't know how we came about knowing the difference between a good and a bad emotion. And I love that you're saying that it shouldn't be black or white, that the emotion is energy moving through us, and it is what it is. And it was just really important to embrace it, because the consequence that you mentioned, which is a huge consequence, is we will explode. we will maybe become more and more closed off from the world and fearful and stressed because that energy keeps getting stagnant instead of flowing. So I think that's just incredible things that you've mentioned today, like
Mhm.
really important stuff that I think if we just implement two things, making lessons from our situations that happen for us and embracing the trust of flow of life and accepting what we feel and allowing it to be seen. I think they're three really important things that could quite honestly change our life
Yeah.
instantly.
Yeah, and even like when we need to make decisions, sometimes we're in a place where we need to make decision and we don't know what to do, and we can have this faith that I don't need to know now. I will be guided. I will be given the way. It's also having this faith that if we are in a situation where we feel we don't know, we are unsafe, we feel insecure because we don't know, then we can really just go to this place and just feel that faith will give us the answer. And sometimes we so want to control life and we want to know everything and we want to know every step. And we think that knowing is giving us the security or that knowing is giving us the way to get somewhere. But what if actually not knowing is allowing a new way, and that it is the new way you have to take instead of keeping taking the same old road that you know most of the time, and that most of the time doesn't lead you to where you want to be, leads you to pain or leads you to suffering or leads you to unhappiness anyway. So it's really important also to leave room for not knowing. And this unknown can be where you thrive instead of being where you die and where you become insecure. So also having this faith and knowing this grand order of things and how things unfold, and how in this movie, for example, the guy had to be unsuccessful in his job for a while. He had to have separate from his wife, go to another place, be miserable in the relationship with his daughter, and the woman had to be betrayed by his her boyfriend who wasn't faithful, and she had to be depressed and go to a friend that she met just 2 days before in the city where she was, and that's how they meet. And that's how music is created, and that's how he's finding his joy again and his creativity, and she's believing in herself, and she doesn't do the same mistake, and he goes back into his family because he has found himself again. So you can see that everything that unfolds has its reason. And so when you start to see that, you don't look at your life with judgment, you don't look at your life with mistakes that have been done, but mistakes are turned into opportunities to learn. And when opportunities to learn are turned into real learning, you grow. And an individual who grows is an individual who is happy, who is really excited to get up in the morning because it says, oh yeah, what am I going to learn today? What great adventure am I going to be on today again? And you say, you know that you won't have the control of everything. Actually, you don't have the control at all. But every choice you make is actually shaping the one you are to become. And it's actually maybe even guided by the one you already have become. Because time and space, we think it's separate, but actually everything is here in one just small point. Everything is together in this moment. All the futures, all the past, all that is happening now, everything is just poof, this instant. We just think, because we think of time as a linear thing, that there is a beginning, there is an end, and there is all that lasting in between. And that's often why we're miserable, because we think of time like that. But what if time was this? And that every moment is this. And that every moment, coming back just to this moment, coming to faith and to, I don't know, and it's okay. And because I don't know, I can make a new choice. And that this moment where you just come back here, you stop for a moment, everything you just hear. What if that was the reset button that you just need to just, okay, I can do it again. I can choose again. I can choose again. Even if I was, messed up until now, feeling terrible, if I just said something terrible to my partner or my child, what if in this moment you realize it, you can just stop and say, oh, I'm sorry that I I didn't want to say that. I didn't mean that. Just I'm sorry. And just recognizing your responsibility and just making another choice again. What in a moment where you are in a conflict, you realize this is not the road I want to go. And you just, for a moment, you just close your eyes, you're here, and you decide, no, I'm not going there. I'm stopping this conversation. That is not the place I want to be. I want to be in love. Mm-hmm. And you realize that the grand order of things is really this amazing unfolding, and chaos is change. So when things seems to be chaotic, just know it's because change is coming, and change has been invited at the table, and there is no change without a time of chaos. So stability and instability are dancing with each other, and that is the greatest thing there is. Otherwise, if we only want to be stable, it's like living in a box, like we would be in, I don't remember the name, when we're dead. That is stability. If you want to find stability, you will find it when you will be at the cemetery. You will have plenty of stability. Nothing will ever move anymore. But as we are in this life, this is not meant to be stable. This is meant to be life. And life is this big unfoldment that can happen anyway. And it's always about us being and seeing this unfolding as the perfection of all of life. So I hope, I don't know, do you have something that you would like to add to this, Maria?
I really believe that this was such a powerful episode this time. I just want to add, I think myself, I want to rewatch this and I want to absorb even more of what you were sharing. And I recommend that to the viewers as well, because this is a very important lesson to learn how to live. And there's one thing learning how to live, but let's thrive in this wonderful life we have. So again, another great insight, Armelle. Thank you for sharing. And I think you've opened up a lot of options for us to go deeper in episodes to come, which I am excited to unfold even deeper into these lessons. So thank you again.
Yeah, thank you so much, Maria. My greatest joy. Okay, cool. I hope it's going to be the same for you, that you're going to really just get nuggets from that and maybe have more ease in your life and just really play with everything you want to create, because this life is meant to be lived fully. This is yours and you only have one. So make it everything you want it to be. And I will look forward to seeing you again next week.
Yes, bye.
Bye, everyone.